Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So, whatever you may think about the wisdom of holding the Olympics this year, it was wonderful to be able to watch them. Since I now swim regularly, I loved watching the swimming competition. Dan can tell you I was looking hard at the TV screen trying to pick up tips, like what in the world was that little wiggle they did after they turned at the wall. But most of the time, I was just shaking my head with amazement. And I always love watching the young women gymnasts whose grace, agility, and bravery is almost beyond imagination, except that we see it with our own eyes. I've also been eagerly taking in stories about the athletes. I found the stories of Allyson Felix and Simone Biles particularly compelling. In the course of her athletic career, each of them reached a critical point where she had to decide whether to do what was expected of an athlete of her caliber or to do what was best for her life. So, as you know, Allyson Felix decided to take off time from running to have a child. The response of her sponsor was so disrespectful that she got herself a new sponsor and became a leading advocate for women athletes who are or who want to become mothers. In the midst of the Olympics, Simone Biles decided not to compete on vault or uneven bars out of concern for her own safety. Biles returned to Olympic competition on her own terms. In these decisions by these athletes, we saw powerful examples of the exercise of agency. That is, Biles and Felix demonstrated their ability to act independently and make their own free choices. This use of the word agency may be unfamiliar to some of you. Usually, agency seems to mean acting for someone else, like a real estate agency. But here, I think it's better to think about something like the word free agent. To have agency is to be able to exercise free choice. And I've been thinking a lot about agency these days. It can be hard to recognize our own agency. The rate of COVID infections and hospitalizations is again increasing. Unprecedented high temperatures have scorched the American Northwest. Huge wildfires and unexpected floods have destroyed entire towns. Many have suffered losses over the past 18 months of loved ones, of jobs, of self-confidence. I think Elul is special on the Jewish calendar because it asks each of us directly to recover a sense of our own agency. Other holidays are about what our ancestors suffered, or about how God has blessed us, or often both. Elul uniquely challenges us to exercise agency in our own lives, to consider what we can do as human beings with the power to make choices, to follow through. The concept of agency, I have learned, is central to Judaism. Maimonides taught that the very idea of mitzvot presupposes free agency. Why have commandments in the first place, he asks, if people are not free to obey? Freedom, in his words, does not refer to the license to follow one's most immediate desires. That's really a form of enslavement to caprice. Freedom requires choices made on the basis of understanding. Love of God, as expressed in the observance of the mitzvot, is evidence that a person has acquired an understanding of their meaning, which is a key to genuine freedom. Given the importance of agency in Elul, it can't be a coincidence that the Torah readings during Elul summarize the commandments, and that the second to the last verse of Parsha Nitzavim, just before Rosh Hashanah, begins, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life. During the month of Elul, we are to exercise our agency, our power to choose life in several ways. We are encouraged to engage in a process described as Heshbon HaNefesh. Although this is sometimes translated as an accounting of the soul, the word nefesh is better understood as life. This translation helps us understand that our task is to ask, what does my life add up to right now? How have I made the lives of others better? How have I made them worse? Where have I missed the mark? But simply noting how we've fallen short is not enough, nor is simply resolving to do better something that we're traditionally doing on the secular New Year. The specific practice that Elul demands is to speak directly to anyone whom we have hurt and ask their forgiveness. This is hard. It can feel as hard as almost anything we watched the Olympic athletes do. But it is key to exercising our agency to build better lives and a better world. A world in which we recognize that we do have choices in what words we say, in the things we do, in when we protest, and when we accommodate. A world in which we speak to each other courageously and courteously about important things. And a world in which we work separately and together for the greater good. If we recover our sense of agency during Elul, we can truly celebrate Rosh Hashanah as the time of the renewal of our partnership in creation with the creator of all things. Thank you for listening.